We are back at Radio Row here at the 2025 NFL Combine, and the rumors surrounding the Giants and specifically the quarterback position are officially on fire. Reports came out yesterday that Aaron Rodgers wants to be a New York Giant. Do you want him to be a Giant, though? We're going to be breaking that all down and more on the channel. But first, I want to open up the comment section and let the real ones sound off. Do you want Aaron Rodgers as a member of this football team? Type Y for yes and for no. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been interacting with our content here at the Combine. It wouldn't be possible without you. And it looks good to the bosses that you guys are showing love. So still continue to do that. By the way, hit that thumbs up icon. On today's video, we're going to react to the rumors that Aaron Rodgers has reached out to the New York Giants about being their signal caller for next year. This was the report from Mike Florio. He said this, quote, "There was talk at the Combine on Tuesday that Rodgers has reached out to the Giants. Usually we don't traffic in things we've heard, but we hear plenty of things that might or might not be true. The way I heard this specific thing, however, leads me to believe it's more likely than not true." And this kind of lines up with what Joe Schoen had to say at his press conference back on Tuesday here at the Combine when he said he is willing to take swings at the quarterback position. He made it very clear that his goal is to find a quarterback that he thinks can win the most games possible for the New York Giants in 2025. Is that Aaron Rodgers? I'm not so sure. Here is that quote from Joe Schoen saying he's going to do whatever it takes to find that QB.
Yeah, and where we are, Tommy DeVito is our only quarterback on the roster, so you may evaluate both of those. Those both may be options. So, again, we don't know what's going to happen in the draft. We don't know who's going to be there. When we get around these kids, they may or may not be a fit for us. So, we're going to have to address the position somewhere. And even if you get a young quarterback, you'd like to have a vet, in the room with them to show them the ropes and how to be a pro. So, we're looking at all different avenues. It's, hey, is this guy going to be really good for a young quarterback, or is this guy a starter? Or can we get a guy in the draft? Or if we do, should we have a guy that's more of a guy that can develop and show a guy how to be a pro? So, we're going to look at vets, we're going to look at the draft, we're going to look at trade candidates, we're going to look at under every rock to, find the best prospect for us going into the 25 season.
Going out and signing Aaron Rodgers in free agency would be the ultimate swing for Joe Schoen. I know he's talked about wanting to take multiple swings this offseason and really has made it clear that even if the Giants select a quarterback at number 3 overall, he wants to add a veteran to this roster. And remember, the Giants are going to have to approach the NFL draft the NFL free agency period like they're not going to be able to get a quarterback because you don't know if one will fall at 3. So you got to go out and take a swing at that QB position, and it could be Aaron Rodgers. Florio added this to the conversation, saying, quote, "It's unclear whether the Giants would be interested in Rodgers. Yes, he could be better than other options they'll have, especially if he'll take less cash in order to stick it a little bit or a lot to the Jets, who didn't want to keep him. But Giants fans who witnessed his 2 years with the other team in town might not be interested in signing up for a year or two with a guy whose star is starting to fade." Rodgers did make it clear, though, that 2 things he's looking for in a new football team is he wants to go to a good team. And no matter how blue the blood I bleed is Giants blue, I'm not ready to say this team is good. They have good players. They have some nice players at some really premium positions. I'm not going to go out and say right now the Giants are a good football team. And he also said he wanted to be wanted, which tells me that there's not a lot of teams out there that are good, and there's not a lot of teams out there that want him at this moment. What kind of deal does Aaron Rodgers want in NFL free agency? That's the biggest sticking point for me. He had a lot of guaranteed money still coming his way from the New York Jets. Could this be a similar situation that we saw Russell Wilson have in free agency? Maybe not signing a veteran minimum deal is what Rodgers is going to do, but if he's willing to sign a 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, $14 million deal, I'm definitely going to listen. This is a guy that I thought really didn't look like the same person he was at the beginning of the year, a year removed from that Achilles injury. But as the season started to go on and he started to get healthier and healthier, he actually finished the season on a pretty high note. The last 9 games of the season, he was completing 64% of his passes, threw for 16 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions. Over that 9-game stretch, he did add Devontae Adams to his team. so he was able to have some more familiarity there. And he kind of started to look a little bit like the Aaron Rodgers of old, at least like the guy he was his last couple of years in Green Bay. I'm not saying if the Giants sign Rodgers, you're going to get the guy that won multiple MVPs with the Green Bay Packers. But of the veteran bridge quarterbacks that are available, and we'll show you that list coming up in a little bit, I do think strictly from a playing the quarterback position, Rodgers is just as good, if not better, than any of the veteran QBs that are free agents. What I think it boils down to is what the Giants are looking for in a bridge quarterback. They have to ask themselves, what boxes do we want those guys to check? And I've thought of 4 things that I would want if I was Joe Schoen signing a bridge quarterback. Number 1, the ability to win games right now. Again, you don't know if you're going to have a quarterback fall to you at pick number 3. And you don't know if that guy's going to be ready to play football right away. You're also a general manager that just escaped the hot seat of getting fired. You're right back on it. And if you don't win games this year, you're going to be gone. You also need a quarterback that can maximize Malik Neighbors. I don't want a guy that can't get him the football. I want 200 targets to go to number 1 next year. This time next year, I think the conversation is going to be in the NFL that he is a top 5 receiver. And a guy like Rodgers, he knows how to play with the wide receiver 1. You also need to bring a culture to the team. That's something I don't know if Rodgers can do at this point. It's almost like Aaron Rodgers takes over your entire locker room, and I don't know if he does it in the best way. You also need a guy that can mentor and help a young QB grow. And I'll actually say this. I think Rodgers could be that guy. And he's talked about the willingness to work with a young quarterback. I thought he was really good with Zach Wilson, and I think kind of he learned who he did not want to be going back to the Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers relationship that they had in his early days at Green Bay. I think he could be a good mentor for a young guy. Not sure he checks all the boxes I want in a bridge quarterback. But when you compare him to the other top free agent quarterbacks out there, I mean, is it crazy to say that Aaron Rodgers is better than Drew Lock or better than Garoppolo, Marcus Mariota, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson? Would I rather have Aaron Rodgers or Jameis Winston? It is not even close. I would rather have Aaron Rodgers on my football team. And then you get to a guy like Russell Wilson. Would you rather have Russ? Would you rather have Rodgers? Justin Fields. I worry if he can maximize Malik Neighbors. And I also worry if you sign Justin Fields, are you also going to draft a quarterback at 3? And then how long is the leash you're going to get him? If he struggles the first 8-9 games of the season, are you just going to bench him and admit that you failed on that experience? And Sam Darnold. Are you going to give him $35 million? Are you going to hitch your wagon to Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold? That sounds like a death sentence for Joey Schoen. The Giants are going to sign a quarterback. One of those 10 guys we just showed you on screen are going to be wearing a New York Giants helmet next year. It's just going to happen. They have to. They need to turn a weakness, which was the quarterback position, into a strength at this point. Rodgers has baggage, no doubt. He's not a perfect player. Definitely some locker room issues. Seems like he wore his welcome out in Green Bay and also wore his welcome out with the New York Jets. We'll figure out and we'll see if he fits culture-wise with the Giants. I wouldn't be shocked if there is a meeting here prior to free agency opening up. My main question is, can a guy like Daboll work with Rodgers? We know Daboll, I'm not going to say as an ego, but it's been noted he is hard to work with. It's also been noted that Aaron Rodgers is a hard person to work with. Could maybe they be a match made in heaven? I don't know. I don't think it's the worst idea. I'm just not so sure it's the best idea. My question to you before we bounce on out of here and we get back to getting on the floor and getting all you guys the inside info here at the Combine. If you had to have one of these 2 quarterbacks put pen to paper to join the Giants, who would it be? Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers? Let me know in the comment section. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. We've been crushing it at the Combine. You guys have been crushing it. And we want to keep that up. So hit that thumbs up icon, subscribe, and let's go Big Blue.